And welcome back to The Factor Uncensored. Dating someone and getting married is a serious commitment before saying I do. Should couples keep it real and unload all of the details about any debt or money issues that they may have? Let's get back to our guests tonight. Our guests are here on The Factor Uncensored. We have with us Breon Rollins, Brandy Renee, and Zulema Lewis. Glad to have you all on The Factor Uncensored. When people start dating, one of the last things they talk about is their finances and what financial situation that they may be in. That comes later, but that should be on the table earlier, right?
Well, personally, for me, I would say I would give it at least 6 months into the relationship.
When you know it's serious.
When you know it's serious. If it's going down a path that you can possibly build a future with that person, that's when we start having those hard conversations.
And Brandy, how do you bring that to the table? How do you ask someone to sit down and talk about finances without feeling uncomfortable?
I think it happens naturally in the everyday conversation. So if someone says, oh, I have to go grocery shopping, maybe bring it up that way and say, hey, do you have a budget for groceries or do you just get what you need?
Ain't nobody gonna fall for that now.
You
Come
don't
on.
think so?
No, hell no.
I think it's good as far as natural conversation. And I think you
I'm like, that's surely a trick.
See, you may know, but no. I think just everyday conversation like that,
Yeah.
but that's just the way, one of the ways that I can see doing it.
What about just being bold and saying it? And indicating I see a future with us.
In the future, yes, absolutely. Hey, before we keep going on, we're talking about, we're spending more time together, we're taking trips together. When you start doing those things and there are things where you may have to purchase things together, I don't know, those are the times when it's important. You say your air conditioner is out. Okay, do you have American Home Shield? Do you, do you have savings for that? And those are, I think, times when that comes out. But when I talk to someone and you hear it's, oh, well, yeah, it's a little tight, hey, can I stay at your place because I don't have AC? That's when it's a problem.
That's a red flag. That's a red flag.
That's when you bring that up.
Yeah, correct.
Breon, for the fellas out there, and they're the ones more than likely not to want to initiate this conversation, but if a female says, look, I want to talk about your finances, how do you keep from feeling suspicious where this is someone looking to take advantage of me and to get into my pockets?
No, I think early in a relationship, we know that you're not getting the real person anyhow.
Right.
And if they're willing to have that question towards you, that leads me to believe that they're serious. And that lets me know that this might be someone that I might want to anchor in with. But separate of just them asking the question, you can get a lot of data just from watching their habits, watching how they spend, watching what they do on the weekends, watching if they're always at the club, if they're doing bottle service versus making their own drinks before. There's a lot of unique things that you can do well ahead of getting to that question that you've already got information baked in before you have that conversation.
Is there a time where you should say, no, I don't think a relationship is right for me now, a long-term commitment if your finances are jacked up?
That's, I think that goes both ways. I feel as though, yes, there is a time to say no, but at the same time, I do believe in faith, and I believe that if God sends you someone, you need to take advantage of that situation because that could be your person and they may not be there for your finances.
Now, if it's a dude and he unemployed, you gonna do that? You gonna work with it?
Yes, if I feel like they meet those qualities to potentially, because sometimes people do hit a rough patch. It's not all the time that,
And I'm not saying it's impossible,
And you can help propel that person to the next level and help them grow and get their finances in order. Everyone, there's been a time I didn't have a job for a short period of time, and I wouldn't want anyone not to date me because I did not have a job.
Did you date when you were unemployed?
Of course, I didn't pay.
What'd you do at the, what'd your broke ass do at the dates?
Conversation.
Let me get it to go bag, boo.
It's for later. No, but yeah, I do think it's okay, but it's a lot of things in Houston and taking advantage of the city as a whole. There's many things we can do here for free. You can go to the park and have a good time at the park. There's live music on in some of these pavilions at the different mall areas. So you can still date and buy a drink or an appetizer. You don't have to have a tomahawk steak today from Maestro's. You know?
Right.
So yeah.
Okay. I don't know. All right. Thank you, guys.